So today we're going to talk about how to master algorithmic trading. We're going to tell you some insights into some of our top performing strategies. Hopefully you guys get some good value out of this today. Right. So here's our agenda for today. Basically, I'm going to give you guys a link to this presentation to start off with. So into the chat box is where this link is going, right? So if you guys want to review these slides or follow along with me, they're all there inside the chat. Right. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, kind of, why should you listen at all to what I have to say? Tell you a little bit about Lumi Wealth, give you some helpful links that I think could be useful to you. We'll talk about algorithmic trading and why we think it's something super valuable, and I think you'll feel the same way. And then we'll go into our strategy examples, and we'll show you a couple of different strategies that we're working on and kind of their performance through back tests. And you'll see kind of if you want to copy these types of things or whatever, you'll be able to see them. And then we'll talk about how to continue your learning, right? And then at the end, I have space for questions. But again, please ask questions throughout. If you have any questions, just type it into the chat. It makes it a lot more interesting when you guys ask questions throughout the presentation, all right? Cool. All right. So a little bit about me. So why in the heck should you listen to anything I have to say? Well, this is kind of my background. So I've been programming for over 25 years. I was very young when I started to learn how to code. I was, I think, like 12 years old or something. Started my first software company a few years after that. I have a master's of finance degree from a top business school in Canada. You guys might not have heard of it. It's called Schulich. It is something pretty similar to like an Ivy League school in the U.S., but a heck of a lot cheaper. Definitely had the option there and chose to go with this one. It was a lot cheaper. But nevertheless, Master in Finance, we are associated with the CFA. So in some ways, I know mostly what is in the CFA as well. You guys know what that is. I've worked on Wall Street for a number of years, worked in mortgage finance. I worked in crypto for a while. If you guys have ever heard of a company called Voyager, Voyager was a crypto broker before this whole thing exploded. We got it up to being worth around $3 billion at one point in time. As employee number 4 there. So it's a pretty wild ride. Started off, we were kind of building things from scratch. And next thing you know, this thing really took off in the like 2020 type era. We really, it's pretty nice for my stock options, I can tell you that much. So employee number 4 at Voyager. So I have a lot of experience in the finance industry and doing high frequency trading type of stuff. I'm also right now the CEO and founder of Lumi Wealth, right? So it's the company that you guys signed up for. This is the company that we founded back in 2019. And, we're onto some really cool stuff, I believe, right? And let me tell you a little bit about Lumi Wealth and kind of what we do, right? So Lumi Wealth, what do we do? How can we help you? I think is the more important question here. So what is Lumi Wealth and what are we all about? Well, Lumi Wealth is a business, like I said, founded in 2019. Why do we create it? What is it? What are we around for? What is our main objective? It's basically to help people invest better. So people like you, people like smaller institutions, we don't tend to go after the large cap hedge funds. They have their own things that they're doing. But some of the smaller brokers and hedge funds we tend to help with as well. And basically what we're trying to do is help improve investment returns and lower risk, right? So that's a pretty broad thing. So how are we actually doing that and what are our beliefs behind that? Well, we're doing that using software and AI, right? And the reason why we're doing that, there's a lot of hedge funds out there. There's a lot of investment managers out there that basically will use their own expertise to do a lot of things, right? We believe that the future is going to be very different, right? You guys have probably heard a lot about AI lately, ChatGPT and all those things. In our opinion, it's only going to grow much louder and go much faster. And I do not believe that in 5 to 10 years from now, we're going to have people managing investments at all. I think actually, if you were to go to someone and say, manage my investments for me, they would probably do a very bad job compared to an AI or some piece of software. So that's what we're building, right? We're building software and artificial intelligence that is going to hopefully make some very good investment returns and lower your risks. That's what we're building. That's what we're all about, right? So how are we doing that right now, or what are we doing right now? Well, first of all, we have courses on algorithmic trading and other things. So kind of what you're learning today is what we do. We do a lot of education type stuff. And we're also building some software to make these things a lot easier and to build a community around it in a very unique and different kind of way. Actually, if you guys are interested, we're raising money soon for our business. We're going to be raising somewhere between $500,000 to $1 million. If you guys are on a mailing list and stay on our mailing list, you should get the prospectus or all the details around that sometime soon, within probably the next 2 to 3 weeks, and you'll see exactly what we're looking to build. Right. So not only do we have this education stuff, but we believe in really this long-term mission and really anything to get us there. And software really is the key to all of it. Right? As I promised, here's a couple of helpful links, right? So here's our YouTube channel. Lots of really good free content on here. So if you want to learn some stuff for free, you want to see kind of what we've been up to, check out our YouTube. Lots of really good things there. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel when you get there. Here's another one that I'm putting into chat. It is access to our Discord server. It's basically this thing right here. Lots of really good people on here. So if you're interested in getting to know other people that want to build trading algorithms and that are kind of at the cutting edge of investing technology, this is the place to be. Lots of really smart people on here. We have a very active Discord, so definitely check us out. It's probably the best way to join our community. And really, if you guys want to get to know more about us, make sure you book a call. So I'm going to click on this link here just to show you what it looks like. But booking a call is probably the best way to learn about what we're up to. We have lots of very highly trained specialists that will answer the phone, will answer any kind of questions that you have around what we're up to and how we can help you to build trading algorithms and how to automatically manage your money. So book a call here. It's very simple. You click on one of the dates, you pick a time, right? And then you enter in your name, email, phone number, all that sort of stuff, schedule event, and we will meet you on the phone over Google Meets, actually. And we will answer any questions that you have and help you out with getting to where you want to be. All right. Those are helpful links. So let's talk a little bit about algorithmic trading, right? So why do we care about this and why is this so special? So we could talk about this in a few different ways, right? I guess we'll start off with what is algorithmic trading for those of you that don't know. So it's basically using software to analyze data and automatically make trades. So basically it's like trading robots. It's automatically buying and selling stocks or options or stocks or crypto or whatever. And doing so in a profitable manner in a way that can make you a lot of money. There's a lot of different kinds of algorithms that can trade. I think there's a misconception that we only do day trading. There's actually a lot more that we do. There's a lot of AI stuff that we've been building lately, reading news articles, things that you really won't find anywhere else that we have been doing. Most people, I think, when they get into this, they start doing a lot of technical analysis. You'll see a lot of those YouTube videos about, buy when RSI is high and whatever. There's some value in that. There's definitely some ways to make money around that. We have a couple bots on that. But I think there's a lot more interesting things to do, like analyzing economic data, analyzing news, following insider trading transactions. There's a lot of really, really interesting ways that you can make money using trading algorithms because they're much faster, in some ways much smarter than human beings, and can really do a lot of really cool stuff, right? So a simple way to think about it is investing is all about making smart decisions, right? I think we can all agree on that the smarter someone is and the more informed someone is about an investment, typically the better it goes, right? So it's all about smarts. And if that's all about smarts, well, then software, data, and AI can really help a lot with this, right? If you think that you're smart on your own and make good decisions on your own, imagine when you have the power of data science and artificial intelligence helping you out. I bet you'll do a heck of a lot better. Everything from back testing to trading much faster than usual to using AI to analyze decisions. There's a lot of things they can do that will be a heck of a lot better than what you could do on your own. And you know what? That's not just my opinion. That's also empirically what has been happening in the industry. So if you look at the most successful hedge funds in the world, all of them are going in this direction. Most recently, if you've been following the news, Bridgewater, the biggest hedge fund in the world, I think they're around $140 billion or $160 billion. We have them on the list here. These guys are making huge investments into AI and data science. It's not a coincidence. Everyone knows this. Using data, AI, using automation is going to make you a heck of a lot more money trading than sitting there and trying to look at charts and figuring out how this stuff works. It makes a lot more sense to use technology to do this. You can back test things. You could use a lot more intelligence. You could use a lot more data. Everything that you think you could do with a chart, you could do 1,000 times more with technology. Right. So let's talk about some of these hedge funds. Right. So probably the biggest hedge fund that uses this technology is called Renaissance. You guys may have heard of this company. It's run by a person called Jim Simmons. Here's his book. It's not a book that he wrote, but it is a book that someone wrote about him. He probably doesn't care too much to be in a book. He's making a heck of a lot of money on his own. He's pretty secretive. Actually, if you work at this company, I've heard you're not even allowed to put on your LinkedIn. But very interesting book, basically written about him. He was a mathematician, or he is a mathematician. He used to work as a professor back in the day, and he had the idea of, back in like the 70s or 80s. This is when computers didn't even have Windows. Like Windows wasn't even a thing back then. It was all DOS. He's like, well, these computers can do all these things, and they're pretty fast. What if we could train computers to trade stocks? So they had the idea back then. It took them a while to figure it out. It took them maybe a year or two to kind of figure out how to do this. You guys will be much, much easier because technology's come a long way. But for him, it took a while. And they started doing these things. It took a little while to figure out, what was working, what wasn't. But after some point in time, these guys started making so much money that it was actually unbelievable. They were getting crazy amounts of investors. If you read the book, the story is pretty wild. They went from, this really kind of small shop of, a bunch of nerdy kids that really liked to code, went from that to being extremely wealthy. Some of the people that are involved in the hedge fund, they reportedly bought houses, like giant mansions worth $10+ million in today's money. Literally forgot about them. One kind of funny story was this guy that worked at Renaissance, this company by Jim Simmons. He literally bought a house somewhere in Jersey, and he built it in a spot that was illegal, right? Like you weren't supposed to build houses there. It's worth like $10 million, this giant mansion. And the government writes him a letter and says, you can't do this. You need to take down your house, or you need to do something about it because it's illegal for you to have it here. And he was just like, what are you talking about? Like, I have a house there? Like, he forgot about a $10 million house. That's how much money these guys are making. It is absolutely freaking insane. So let's talk about some of the numbers. Jim Simmons is that main guy. If you look him up, he's on the Forbes list. He's one of the richest people on earth. I think last time I checked, he's like number 30 richest person in the world because of this hedge fund, because of what he was able to do. But let's talk about some of the numbers, right? So last time I checked, they had about $110 billion in assets. I think that's probably more than that now. Actually, it's definitely more than that because it's been a couple of years. I know they've done very well lately. I think in 2021 they made like 120% return or something like along those lines. With $110 billion in assets, right? So 100% return is like $100 billion. It's ridiculous. On average, they make around 66% a year. That's uncorrelated with the stock market. And you might be thinking 66%. There's some people that say, oh, I want to do 200%. I want to do 300%. Well, first of all, making that kind of return with $100 billion is very different than making a 66% return with even $100,000. The problem with $100 billion is when you have something that works well, people are following you. People will literally stalk you to find the answers to this. All sorts of cyber espionage and all that. But on top of that, you also just move the markets, right? So if you have a winning strategy, it could work with a few $1,000s, but as soon as you start doing it with millions or billions, you literally move markets and you can't do that anymore. So the fact that they're able to do 66% returns consistently year after year with $110 billion in assets is extremely impressive. I don't know a single other hedge fund on earth that can do that so consistently as they do. It's uncorrelated with the stock market. I think it was only one quarter, their entire 30 or 40 years of existence, that they've ever lost money. So think about 2000, they didn't lose money. 2008, they didn't lose money. 2020, they didn't lose money. These guys are always making money and on average make 66% a year. Crazy. To put that into context, for those of you that don't have, that haven't been following this for a while, Warren Buffett makes 20 to 30% a year. Okay, this is known to be the best investor of all of history. Jim Simmons is almost tripling his return. George Soros, also known to be a very good investor, for good or for bad, right? This guy makes 20% a year. Jim Simmons does triple him, more than triple. Carl Icahn, this guy has a stadium named after him or a giant field named after him in New York City. Crazy rich, super successful investor. He only makes 13% a year. Jim Simmons makes 66% a year. He is beating every single investment manager that I know of that manages any large amount of capital like that. Why is he doing that? Because he's using only software. Renaissance Technologies, not a single trade is made by a human being. It is all completely automated. It is all completely computers trading all this stuff. This is how they're able to make 66% a year, right? Makes sense. Less emotions, it's faster, right? It could be a lot smarter in some ways. There's a lot of advantages to this, right? So just to give you an example as to why 66% is such a big deal, for those of you that don't know compound interest or haven't studied this, a stock market like the S&P 500 in the United States makes 10% a year on average. Lately, it's a little higher, around 12, but even still, 10, 12%. Let's say you took $10,000 and you put it away for 10 years, okay? $10,000 for 10 years, right? You let it invest, you let it compound, right? So 10% this year, so we get 10,000 turns into a 10,000, turns into 11,000 the next year, and turns into 12,100 the year after that, etc. Right? After 10 years, you're going to end up with about $25,000, almost $26,000, which is pretty good, right? I mean, for doing nothing, sitting there, put your money into the stock market, you made $15,000, $16,000 for doing nothing. That's great, right? This is why most people tell you invest in the stock market, right? Most good financial advisors, right? Renaissance Technologies, on the other hand, with their medallion fund, they make 66% a year. So that same $10,000, you'd think, okay, 10% versus 66%, what are you going to do? You're going to make 6 times more money, 7 times more money? No, you're going to make 6 or 7 times more money every year, and that compounds year after year, right? So that same 66 or that same $10,000 at 66% a year, after 10 years is going to be $1.5 million as opposed to $25,000. Very, very, very dramatic difference. This is the difference between you being, hey, I can kind of relax a little bit, to being, hey, let's buy that Ferrari kind of thing. And that's exactly what Jim Simmons has done, right? I mean, he's one of the richest people on earth. And he's not like the Warren Buffett type where he lives in, a very normal house and drives a normal car. This is a guy that enjoys his money a little bit. He has really, truly changed the game, right? And he's not the only one. A lot of people have noticed this and have tried to do this similar kinds of things, and they've all really come up with quite astounding results as well. Two Sigma's one of them. They manage $60 billion in assets. Last time I checked, probably a lot more than that now. I actually know some guys from Two Sigma. Very, very smart people. They build trading algorithms. Again, all automated, all computers trading. These guys are beating the stock market on a regular basis, doing very, very well. Citadel is another one. Ken Griffin, he's been in the news recently. He, I think, had the best performance out of any hedge fund in all of America last year. Kicking ass, doing really well. Last time I checked, $32 billion in assets in that hedge fund alone. They manage a lot of other things too, but in his one hedge fund, it was $32 billion. And this thing is growing very fast, doing very, very well. Again, all run by computers. People are not making these trades. Computers are making these trades. Bridgewater is another one. This one, if you ever Google the guy that runs this company, Ray Dalio, one of the richest people on earth as well. Bridgewater is the biggest hedge fund on the planet. They're making huge, huge investments into AI. If you ever Google him, search him on YouTube, type in Ray Dalio, artificial intelligence, you'll learn a lot about his thoughts on algorithms and trading. He's a very big fan of it. And he says a major reason why they're so successful is because of their computer models, right? So all these investors are doing this, right? Two Sigma, Citadel, Bridgewater, Renaissance. Name all the biggest hedge funds, name the biggest banks in the world. They're all using this technology. If you're not, you're the one that's being left behind. Another one, D.E. Shaw. Again, these guys pioneered this thing. They're really big investors at the beginning using technology. And actually, someone very famous used to work here. And let me know if you guys know this person. There's actually a link to his website that I just put up recently in the chat. He basically worked at this company back in the day before he started his business. That ended up being very, very successful, to say the least. And that man, and I'll wait for you guys to type it out. That guy is Jeff Bezos, right? So Jeff Bezos used to work at D.E. Shaw back in the day. It is when they say he worked on Wall Street, that's where he worked, was at D.E. Shaw, and he basically helped them build trading algorithms, right? It was the early stages of trading algorithms, analyzing data, figuring out what should we be investing in based off of hard data. So plugging into databases, all that sort of thing. This is where he actually learned about the internet and how fast it was growing. This is where he learned all his investing chops. And one day he basically said to his boss, he said, I have this really great idea for a company. He said, I'll pay you more money. Jeff Bezos said, no, it's okay. Went off, started his own business, and the rest is history. He became the world's richest man at one point in time. So to summarize, I mean, when you're doing algo trading, when you're doing this sort of stuff, you're in the company of some very, very powerful, rich people. The reason why these guys are so successful is because of this technology that they're able to use. And again, if you're not using this technology, you're the one that's being left behind, because most hedge funds these days, most large banks, they're all doing this stuff. It is not something that's new. It's something that's growing very quickly. And AI is only making this more and more powerful by the day, literally by the day, because it's how quickly it's growing. Cool. So let me show you a few strategies that we have. Right. So here's a couple. I want to give you these examples. These are back tests of how some of these strategies would have performed over the past little bit. We're putting together a website where you'll be able to watch these strategies minute to minute. Right. Because, seeing the back test is one thing. Okay, this is how they would have done in the past. It's another story if we put up a website and you could literally watch these things make money. We're raising capital, as I said. We're raising $500,000 to $1 million very soon to build a website where you guys will actually be able to invest in our algorithms as well and make it easier for you to build them. But let me show you a couple that we have. A lot of these are ones actually I have my own money in as well. All right. Here's a few, right? And again, some of these are kind of like, think about these algorithms as types of algorithms, right? So here's one algorithm, or trend following algorithm, right? And it's not only good for this one thing, right? It's not just good. This is specifically trading Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, okay? But we've been able to use this algorithm for much different situations as well. We've used this for stocks. If we're trading the S&P, we've used this for different crypto assets. I've used this for a bunch of different things, and it's quite successful across the board, this general type of strategy, right? So here's a trend following strategy. Here's one specific example of it, right? This is one that trades Litecoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. If you want, you can see the full breakdown here. There's a full tear sheet, right? Whenever you take our full classes, we'll teach you exactly how to make something like this. I got to download it first. Let me download. First, I go like this, hit download, and I can show you what it looks like. So here's a full breakdown. It's called a tear sheet. Whenever you build strategies with us, we'll show you how to build one of these things. It's actually fairly easy once you've learned how to build a strategy. The blue line is our strategy. The yellow line is the benchmark, or in other words, in this case, is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin did very well over this time period. So from 2019 up until, a couple of days ago, really, is the back test, right? Bitcoin did very well over that time period. It was up 53% a year. Impressive, 53% a year. We did even better, right? Our strategy here did 80% a year, right? And it did that without taking much more risk. The max drawdown, or the biggest drop from the top to the bottom for Bitcoin, was 76%. Yikes, it's pretty scary. Ours was less than that, 72%. Still pretty big, but I mean, 80% a year, I'll take it, right? Personally. The volatility on this is about the same as Bitcoin. Bitcoin's volatility is 57. We're a little less at 56, right? So in other words, we're making more money. We're taking less risk. Fantastic, right? What this strategy does is it takes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and invests in those three depending on a specific formula, which is using exponential moving averages, EMAs. There is the 12, the 26, and the 32 EMA. If the 12 is above both the 26 and the 32, we're saying that it's trending up. So it's two confirmations, right? So there's one EMA that confirms, and there's another one that confirms as well. If those two criteria are met, then we invest in an asset. So meaning if only Bitcoin is trending up, then we only invest in Bitcoin. We put 100% of our money to there. If Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin are all trending up, then we put a third of our money into each one of them, right? If none of them are trending up, then we sit in cash. You see here, these flat periods are when we were in cash, and it's basically protecting us from these losses, right? So we're investing in the fastest moving coins that are going up, and we're taking our money out when things are falling, right? So in that way, we're able to really take off quite a bit, right? So you see here, we're beating the benchmark by a lot. We're beating the Bitcoin price by quite a bit. You see here, pretty much every single year, we beat Bitcoin, right? Except for this year, which is just Bitcoin has been on tear. But every other year we did, right? And you can see here our drawdown periods. You can see how we did per month. Here, for example, May in 2019, we made 65% in a single month. That's pretty damn good if you ask me. And you can see all the other payouts here, right? So here's all the details behind this strategy. If you want to see the full trade breakdown and how it did in terms of trading, let me show you that. You'll see exactly what this strategy was doing. So here is that strategy, right? You can see all the trades here. I could zoom over them. Sold, bought, right? Green, we bought some Litecoin here. We sold some here, right? You take a look at it play by play. So if you guys get this thing here, which I shared with you earlier, and I'll share this one more time, our slides, because I know some people joined a bit late. You could actually go through this and see all of our trades and exactly how this thing worked, right? Okay. Another strategy here is our mean reversion strategy. Okay. I know a lot of people are into technical analysis, are into this sort of thing. What this strategy does is basically we'll buy when things are or sell when things are overheating, buy when things are a little too down, too negative, right? Specifically, it pays attention to two indicators, RSI and Bollinger Bands. So RSI is our relative strength index. If RSI is very high, we tend to say that something is overbought. If it's very low, we tend to say it's oversold, right? So in other words, when it goes very high, okay, it's a time to sell. If it goes very low, it might be a time to buy. We confirm that with Bollinger Bands, right? So we have RSI and Bollinger Bands both together. When those two both happen at the same time, that's when we're placing our trades. We're buying or we're selling, right? You can see here, this is the strategy. The return for the strategy, year annualized returns is 86% almost, versus the Bitcoin over the same time period that only did 26%. So we almost tripled the return of Bitcoin over this time period. Our Sharpe ratio is also much higher, meaning that our risks didn't go up very much. Our volatility is less than that of Bitcoin. Our max drawdown is less than that of Bitcoin. So less risks, triple the returns. Sounds like a very good strategy to me, right? And this is, and again, this is a type of strategy. Mean reversion you can use for a lot of different things. I think it makes a lot of sense for something like a Bitcoin because it moves a lot. But you could use this on, we've used this on the VIX. We've used this on a bunch of other assets as well. So this can be quite a profitable strategy. If you guys want to see a full tear sheet and all the breakdowns here, you see all the trades. You can see the full breakdown here as well. Right. Another one, just to give you guys kind of an example of a few different things. I showed you two crypto ones. Let me show you two stock ones. So here's a diversified leverage strategy, right? This one's fairly simple, but very effective. Basically what we're doing is we're copying Ray Dalio. So Ray Dalio has something called the all-weather strategy. Again, he's the one that manages Bridgewater, world's biggest hedge fund, right? And what he believes in is diversifying very well. He says basically you want to put some of your money into gold, some of your money into commodities like oil and things like that. And then you want to put some of your money into bonds and some of your money into stocks, right? There's a specific proportion. You can Google this if you want. And the reason why he says to do this is because it protects you in every situation, right? If we're in an inflationary environment, then commodities and gold are going to do very well, sometimes stocks as well. But bonds are going to do terribly in that situation, which is kind of what we're going through right now, right? If you're going through a period of high growth, but low inflation, that's when stocks really do very well. Bonds then do pretty well too. And if you're going through, it's basically makes like a matrix. It's like, is it high growth or low growth? Are we high inflation or low inflation? And it protects you against all of those situations, right? So that's the first thing we do is we reduce your risks. We want to make sure that you're in a safer position. And then once we've reduced your risks in a smart way, what we do is we add leverage, right? So this thing has triple leveraged indexes across the board. It uses triple leveraged NASDAQ, triple leveraged S&P, triple leveraged bonds, triple leveraged gold, and uses all those in conjunction. When we use those together, you end up getting something like this, where you have a 22% average annual return compared with the benchmark that does around 13%. That benchmark in this case is the S&P 500. So we're about double the return of the S&P 500 per year. In the long run, that does very well. So it's 1,300% return as opposed to 400% return. We do a heck of a lot better using this strategy. Our max drawdown and our volatility is higher, of course, because we're using leverage. However, we've triple leveraged and we've only doubled our risks. Not even doubled, right? 27% versus 15. So a little less than double our risk, but triple the leverage, right? So we're able to make quite a bit more money using this strategy than others, right? Again, here's the graph. You can see the blue is our strategy versus yellow, which is the S&P 500. S&P 500 has done very well. We did a lot better. And in fact, actually, we're saying 22%. The only reason why it's so low is because the market's been down lately. If we were around this point here, we'd be making maybe triple or 4 times the S&P, right? So that's our diversified leverage strategy, right? I'll show you one more and then kind of talk about how you guys can build these things on your own. Here's our Congress trading strategy, right? And we can do this with a lot of different things as well. But basically what this does is it looks at the US Congress, so meaning senators and governors. Whenever they trade, they have to tell us what they did, right? It has to be public legally, right? So if they bought Microsoft, they report the fact that they bought Microsoft. They bought Google, they have to tell us that, right? And basically, we're following what they're doing. We're copying the trades that they're making. So if they bought Microsoft, we're buying Microsoft, right? In this case, more specifically, we're looking for 4 purchases of the same stock over the past 30 days, right? And if that happens, then we buy it as well. What we have done with this strategy, right, or how this strategy would have done from 2021 up until pretty much like a week ago, we would have made 17% a year, whereas the S&P only did 3%. So we are really beating the S&P by quite a large margin. Our Sharpe ratio is a lot better because our risks are better. Our max drawdown is pretty similar. Our volatility is a little higher, but I think we can say that that's perfectly fine considering how we're making, 5 times higher returns, more than 5 times higher returns because of this, right? So some very good stuff here. So you see here, there's a bunch of different strategies that we can make. If you guys want to look into any of these, You have the Google Docs. Feel free to look through our tear sheet, look through all the trades and what happened. But basically, you could see that using technology can really create some very unique strategies. These are things that would be very hard for you to do manually. First of all, because of the timing involved and all that sort of thing, and plus, just let technology do this for you. But then also, we're able to really use data to inform our decisions and make smarter trades, right? So, even if you don't believe that algo trading is going to make you a ton of money, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but even if you don't, it's pretty obvious that it can do better than what you're doing now. If you're not using technology to trade now, you're definitely at a disadvantage. I'll tell you that much. All right, and here's just a few examples of that. We have a bunch more. If you guys want to see more, let me know. But here's a few examples of our strategies: are trend following, mean reversion, diversified leverage, Congress trading. We're building a bunch of machine learning and artificial intelligence strategies now too, if you guys are interested. Okay, cool. So if you guys want to learn how to do this stuff fully, if you want to learn how to code and build these things, here is basically our full course on this. We spent, half an hour together doing this right now. Here is a 12-week long course where we go through all this stuff in intricate detail. You will get access to all of these strategies that we built, right? If you want to use any one of these strategies that I showed you today, you can get the code to this, right? And then you'll learn how to build your own as well, right? So here is that course. It's called Algorithmic Trading, our Lumi Wealth course. Here's our learning outcomes. And here's the course curriculum, right? So it's a 12-week long course, as I said, right? Divided up into 3 parts. The first part of the course, we're going to go through introductions and show you how to set your computer up, all that sort of thing. Week 2, we'll show you how to code in Python, the basics, right? If you've been coding Python for a while, it's going to be a very quick refresher. If you've never coded before, we'll go through the entire all of Python within a day, and you'll kind of learn the main parts they need. Because you don't need to be a professional coder. You don't need to be that good. You just need to know the basics, right? Then week 3, we'll show you how to set up a back test and how to actually start trading, building this sort of stuff. So we'll go through a couple of these back tests of things that we've done already. If you don't know what a back test is, it's basically using past data to see how your strategy would have done. So if your strategy was, buy Microsoft every Friday or something like that, then how would your strategy have done over the past 10 years, right? We'll show you how to do that and how to analyze things using data as opposed to just winging it, right? You have a strategy in mind. Is it a good strategy or not? Well, let's put it to the test, right? Back testing is going to allow you to figure out, is that a good strategy or not, right? Week 4, we're going to talk about pandas, not the animal. It's a library in Python that basically teaches you how to or helps you to manipulate data. It's if you're a data scientist, this is like the #1 thing, right? Everyone uses pandas. It makes it really easy to get data, analyze it, and come up with good conclusions. So we'll show you how to use that in week 4. Right? Then part 2, we'll go into much deeper things, right? So week 5, we'll talk about how to run your bot live and in the cloud. We'll show you something called Replit and how to run it in Replit. It makes it very easy for you to run your bots live. And actually, we'll start a competition on this week 5 as well. So we'll see who makes the most money by the end of the class. It's a very fun competition, and make sure that everyone's kind of getting into this and starting to do this. I'm hoping that every one of you guys that join the class not only learns how to make algorithms by the end of the class, but I hope all of you make money by the end of the class. That is really the goal of all of this, right? If we can get you through the class and you've made a profit by the end of it, that makes me a very happy person. All right. Week 6, market mechanics. We'll talk about different order types and how the market actually works in detail, so you can talk about how to do that sort of thing. And we'll show you how to really interact with all that with the brokers using code. Week 7, we'll talk about how to get stock and economic data programmatically, right? So how do you get the latest Federal Reserve results? How do you get the latest economic data and use that to trade? We'll talk about that then. Week 8, we're going to talk about financial performance metrics. What is max drawdown? What is standard deviation? What is the Sharpe ratio? How do you calculate those yourselves? And then we're going to build a bot together live. So if you have an idea for a bot that you want to have built, you have a strategy that you like, and you're like, oh, we can make a lot of money doing this. This is your opportunity to do that. Bring it up in week 8, and we can actually build it live during class. All right. And week 9, we're going to go into a case study, how you can trade based off of debt. This would have made you a lot of money in 2020. And we basically break down how you can build a strategy like that to analyze past events like this in history and build a bot that can basically see when these things are happening and automatically make the right choices as they are. Right? So that's going to be a case study in week 9, and you'll see all the details behind that. Weeks 10 and weeks 11, we're going to be doing a lot of strategy examples. This is really open-ended for you guys, and you'll get a chance to either say, hey, I want to have a strategy built, and we could build a strategy during class live, or you can take a look at one of our past strategies, and we can go through it in detail and show you how it works, and how you can modify it and use it as your own. Right? In either case, week 10 and week 11, we're going to be building a lot of algorithms. You're going to see a lot of really cool stuff. All of our cutting-edge things are going to be in week 10 and week 11. And then week 12 of the class, we're going to be going through machine learning, or in other words, artificial intelligence, and you'll learn how to use AI to build your own bots, right? So we're going to be using some cutting edge stuff like PyTorch to show you how to actually use AI to predict stock returns. For those of you out there that are using technical analysis to trade, this will blow that way out of the water, right? If you're thinking, oh, what if RSI goes to this and EMAs cross here or whatever, if you put that through a machine learning model, it will do every single possible thing that could be done with that and show you the best possible way. That's literally what AI will do. If you give it enough time, it will literally run through every single possible permutation using price and come up with the best possible strategy for every single thing, right? So AI is definitely a very interesting thing there, right? And that's, of course, that's 12 weeks long. By week 5, you're going to have your own strategy running in the cloud. By week 12, you're going to be using AI to trade, right? So you're going to be doing a lot of really cool stuff in this class, right? And again, we're going to be putting up a website soon, so you'll be able to watch our algorithms. I'm really looking forward to that one. So if you want to take this class, the full class, right? There's 3 different ways you could do it. You can do it through self-directed, live classes, or project help and tutoring. Each one of these plans builds on the other. So self-directed is our most basic plan. Then live has everything that self-directed has plus more. And then project help has all of that plus more, right? So self-directed plans, if you choose to learn that way, basically, we're going to give you access to all the videos and all the code and access to our community. If you need some help, we can help you out as well. You can get on some calls for help, although it's limited, right? And you'll learn how to do this stuff. You'll get all that code. You can run it yourself, and you can run any of these algorithms that we've done. Right? That's our self-directed plan. Our more popular plan is our live classes. A lot of people take this because it's much more interactive, much more engaging, and you learn a lot, much more, much faster, right? So basically, you get access to everything from self-directed. You get the videos, you get all the code, you get access to our community, and on top of that, you also get the classes live, right? So meaning kind of like what we're doing right now, except live over Zoom. You guys can turn on your cameras and your microphones, and you can literally ask questions. So as I'm teaching something, I'm going through, and I'm going to be going teaching this course. If I'm going over some code that you're not sure of, we can fix that. If your computer's not doing something properly, you can share your screen. We'll fix it, and we'll make sure that you get really a lot out of this class. It's much more engaging. So instead of just watching the videos and doing it on your own, you're going to get a lot of support behind you, right? Not only is it going to be support during the classes live, but then also afterwards, if you need some help, we'll have a lot of one-on-one time that we can do together to make sure your computer's working properly. If you have a strategy in mind, we can help you build that, and a lot of other things, right? So live classes, definitely our most popular plan, live over Zoom for 12 weeks long, usually about 3 hours a week for 12 weeks. Right? Now, our more advanced plan after that is our project help tutoring. It has everything from before, the videos, the live classes, all the code, access to our community, lots of support. And on top of that, you also get access to our software development team. So if you want to have any kind of algorithm built, we can build that for you, right? So let's say you want to build something that trades stocks based off of earnings reports that come out or something like that. We can build that strategy for you using Project Help Tutoring. And on top of that, you're going to get a lot of support. So you'll get one-on-one time in these other plans, but you'll get a lot more of it in Project Help. I think we say something like 10 or 12 hours, but realistically, we spend about as much time as we need with you to make sure that you accomplish your goals. Right? So that's our Project Help Tutoring plan. It's the more advanced one. This has definitely been growing in popularity lately. A lot of people really like this one. Okay. Here's the prices for all the plans. So the self-directed plan, like I said, you get access to the video library, you get access to our code, you get access to community, you get support as well, although limited, right? And then you get access to our weekly discussion hours. This is $22.95. If you need a payment plan, you can pay over 3 or 5 months. You do not have to pay all that up front. So we could do a payment plan for that, right? If you want to do our live classes, which again has everything from self-directed plus more, right? Plus you're going to get 12 weeks of live classes. It's about 2 to 3 hours per week. If you need help, we can help you during that class or afterwards. You get 6 hours of dedicated live Q&A. So again, those one-on-one calls, if you get stuck anywhere, can spend a lot of time to help you out. And then you get access to all future videos and code. So if we come up with some new algorithms, you're going to get access to that. If we create any kind of new types of ways to do things, we get access to that. So you get all those future videos and code. If you want to retake the classes, you get retake them as many times as you want as well. Right? You also get help with 2 personal projects, which we'll be doing during the class. You'll get to know your classmates. That's a really important thing. It's a live class, so you'll see these people. You'll talk to them all the time. A lot of people end up building algorithms together and building businesses together. I've seen people do that before. Some of our past students have built pretty successful businesses off of this. So, getting to know other people is quite valuable. If you need help with resume or interviews, meaning if you want to work in this industry, if you want to work at a hedge fund or if you want to work at a bank, we can help you with your resume and get you through that door as well. And then if you want email or chat Q&A, it's unlimited. We'll help you, as much as you need. Right? Again, that's $49.95, and it's available for 3 or 5 month payment plans if you need them. Right? And then last but not least, the Project Help Tutoring Plan. This is our most advanced plan, has everything from self-directed and live, right? Meaning you get access to all the videos, the video library, you get access to all the code, you get access to live classes, you get all those things. And on top of that, you're going to get help building a custom project. So if you need our software engineers to actually help you build things, if you want me to help you build some sort of software project, we can do that. And you don't even have to be on the call. You can just tell us this is what we want to build. We'll go off, we'll build it, bring it back to you, makes your life a lot easier, so you can get a lot of value out of this, right? And then you also get 10 hours of one-on-one phone calls. And again, we say 10 hours. Realistically, we end up spending a lot more time with these people. If you do choose our Project Help Tutoring Plan, we're going to treat you like gold. And we're going to make sure that you get everything that you're looking to accomplish accomplished, right? We're going to have software engineers helping you. We're going to have a lot of one-on-one calls. You're going to get live classes. You retake those live classes. Whatever it takes to make sure that you get across that finish line, building that project that you've always dreamed of, or building that algorithm that is going to make you some really good amount of money. We'll spend a lot of time with you on that. All right. Again, $7,095, and there's 3 and 5 month payment plans available for this. All right. So you do not have to pay us all up front. Okay. Make sure you book a call with us, by the way. If you guys want to learn more, there's that book a call link. You guys can do that. You have the link to this entire page inside the chat, so you can check it out. All right. We have a guarantee. I've never had to do this before, but if for some reason you can't build a bot, assuming you actually show up to class, we'll give you your money back plus $600 for your time. I've never had to do this before, but we put it out there just to make sure it's a peace of mind. You will have a bot built by the end of this. You will have something trading. This will happen, assuming you actually show up to class. That will happen, and I guarantee you that this is something that we'll give you your money back plus more. This is we've been doing this for a long time, so I'm very confident you will. Right, but there's a guarantee in case for those of you that are still wondering. We have some upcoming live classes. The next one starts in very short amount of time, next week actually, right? So this one starts next week. So if you guys want to join us, you have a week to join, right? The class again is going to be 12 weeks long. We say about 8 to 12 hours per week, self-paced, although you could spend more or less depending on kind of your personal preference. You could retake the class if you want anyways. The schedule is going to be every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So the same time that you guys showed up today, next week is when it's going to be starting. So if you guys want to start building some algorithms, start making some money, join next week. You know, this is your opportunity. And the lectures are going to be 2 to 3 hours long, and we'll show you from A to Z how to build your own algorithms, how to backtest it, and get all that stuff working. Right? If for some reason you can't make it next week, there's another one starting in July, on July 27th, in about a month and so 5 weeks from now ish. Same thing, 12 weeks long. It's going to be every Thursday though, instead, every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time or 5 p.m. Pacific, right? And again, 2 to 3 hours per week. And this one, if you want to save some money, we have an early bird code going on right now. Type this code in at checkout and you'll save yourself 20%, which on this course is, you know, almost $1,000. So you save yourself some good amount of money. This is basically what it looks like. When you click on this, it'll take you to this page here where you could put in, here I have a couple classes. Notice that I put a couple, when you have more than one class, you actually save money because you added more than one. And then I can put in my coupon code, apply coupon, and then check out. Right? So that's how you would do that. All right, we're going to go over 2 course projects during class. We're going to be doing, the first project is going to be analyzing strategies. What strategy should you be investing in? Project 2 is going to be getting a bot working live. All right, so those are 2 projects we covered during class. If you want to learn a little bit more about me, here's a little blurb. You know, I've been doing this for quite some time. I love doing this stuff. I'm a huge fan of this. Honestly, I love building trading algorithms. They're like one of my favorite things to do in the world. And really excited about our new website that we're building around this. If you want to see me on LinkedIn, you can check me out there, see all of my past work experience and all that, if you're interested. And here's a couple testimonials by our students, right? We've had a lot of very happy students. Actually, if you check us out on Trustpilot, right, which I think is a really good measure here, we go Trustpilot Lumi Wealth. You'll see that we have a lot of 5-star reviews. Right, we have 8 reviews right now. We're rated a 4.2. The only reason why we're not a perfect 5 is because one person gave us a 4-star, which is because he wasn't able to get the Zoom link to one of his classes, which we solved from. And I bet you once he finishes class, once he goes through this class, he's going to switch that to a 5-star. So we have almost a perfect rating on Trustpilot. You can read all the reviews here. This is public stuff. Anyone can post up a review, so you know this is not BS. These are all people that have taken our classes in the past. I can actually recognize a lot of their names here. Mosen, you know, I remember teaching a lot of these people here. So if you want to read the reviews, you can read them here on Trustpilot, which is not on our website, right? So you know that this is not something we're BSing. Or if you want, you can watch some of these YouTube videos with some of our past students, right? So for example, Geem, this guy took our class back in like 2020. He did quite well for himself. He now runs a business that sells like trading advice to people. Last I heard, he's making a couple $1,000s a month just doing that, not to mention his own investments, right? So he's doing quite well for himself. Renee, I know, is doing quite well for himself as well. I haven't spoken to him for a while, but he was a programmer that made some pretty cool stuff. Sentayan, last I heard from him, he was making something like 500% a year doing these trading algorithms. He basically made an algorithm that trades off the news using influencers. So let's say like Donald Trump posts something saying, hey, I think this company is great. Whatever you think about Donald Trump, doesn't matter. He moves markets, right? If he posts something, chances are that stock's going through the roof. Like there's a stock recently that's Truth Social or whatever the heck that thing is called. When he posted about that, the stock price went up 300% in 2 days, right? So that's one good example of that. And Sentayan built an algorithm that can capture that, right? So he follows a bunch of influencers, and then whenever they say something good about a company, he buys them, uses technical analysis to figure out when to get out of that trade, And again, last time I heard, he's making like 500% a year on his algorithms. So really good for him. This guy's kicking ass. But there's a lot more than that. If you go on our YouTube channel, you'll see a bunch more people. Just go and click on testimonials. You can also go up here, more testimonials. We have tons of people that have taken our classes. Go in our Discord. You can ask people. You can watch our YouTube videos. You can read our Trustpilot. We've been around for a while. We've been doing this for a while, and we've given people good results. So I'm very confident to say, check out all of our reviews and talk to our past students. I think you'll find some very pleasant things. All right. Cool, awesome. All right, so that's our course, and that's pretty much it for today. I hope you guys got some valuable things out of that. If anything, you can try to copy some of our strategies, try to build them manually if you want to do that, right? Even just following what we're doing here, I think can make you some good money. I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't want to pretend to be, but I'm confident in what we do, you know? But let me know, do you guys have any questions around what we do here, what this course would be like, or anything that we covered today, or, you know, just about the weather, or whatever you guys want to ask. Let me know if you guys have any questions, right? If you don't know right now, you can also email me, rob@lumiwealth.com. I put that into chat. You can email me directly if you want to. You can also book a call. Like I said, we have a fantastic team of people that can help you out with any questions that you have. They've been doing this for a while. They care about this just as much as we do, and are standing by to help you if you have any questions around this, or you want to get started, whatever. It's my job to make sure that you guys can build some very powerful algorithms and do some really cool stuff. So there's some resources, but the floor is yours. Type it into chat. Let me know if there's any questions I can answer, or any way I can help, or any comments or anything like that. I'm all yours. I'll give you guys a little bit of time here. And hopefully after this presentation, you guys see why I'm so crazy about this stuff. Hopefully you see why our students are doing quite well, and why hedge funds are all going this direction. Man, honestly, I don't think we're going to have human hedge fund managers in a few more years. I just don't think that's the case. If you read a lot of things on Bloomberg lately, like, hedge fund managers are dropping like flies. Like, they're just getting eaten alive by tech. You're having these big corporations like Bridgewater just taking them out. You're having these new incumbents coming in using AI. They're just getting astronomical returns. And all these people that are sitting in their, penthouse suite in Manhattan thinking that they can outsmart some computers doing this stuff. I mean, they got a rude awakening coming. Like, technology is about to eat their lunch big time. It already is. I mean, it's already happening, but this is a long secular shift. Like, trading manually just does not make sense. It just does not make sense. You have all this technology at your disposal. We have AI that's growing like crazy. Like, why in the heck would you want to sit there and trade manually? You can literally back test all these things. You could use AI to build these things for you. You could trade off the news. There's so many great strategies out there. To me, it just doesn't make sense to not use technology to trade. It's just too appealing and too valuable. All right. Anyways, I've given you guys some time for questions. I gave you my email if you want to ask some more questions. If you can't think of them right now, you have the link to book a call. Make sure you book a call with our team. That's important. They can help you out with anything that you have, any questions that you have, and just really get you started, right? Let's get you moving on this. Even if you don't take our courses, I don't care. Let's build this industry. Let's build this community together. I strongly believe this is the future of investing, and we're at the forefront of this. We want to be the industry leaders going into this, and we're definitely positioning ourselves that way. So thank you very much for listening. It's been a pleasure. Like I said, we're doing a fundraising round soon. We're going to be raising something like $500,000 to $1 million to build out our software platform. If you guys are interested in that, keep an eye out. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the class. This class starts in a week. Sign up and let's get started. Let's start building these things together. All right. Hope you guys have a great rest of the night, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Goodbye, guys.